Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Welcome, dear learners, dear friends, dear students. In this lecture, we are going to discuss parental dosage forms in continuation of our lecture series of production technologies. Today, we are going to discuss the plant layout and all the related aspects of parental manufacturing. Parentals are the more sophisticated dosage forms as compared to other dosage forms, just due to the aseptic requirement and the stringent quality requirement. So that's why we need to focus on the plant layout with utmost care. So let's discuss the plant layout and other aspects in this lecture. After going through this lecture, you will be understanding the design and layout of a parental production unit, the general guidelines required for parental production, and their structural specifications. You will be able to know about the facilities required for production of sterile products and their performance, the European Union guidelines to GMP, good manufacturing practices of sterile products. What we are going to cover? We are going to cover the layout of parental or sterile manufacturing area, that various areas like cleanup area, preparation, aseptic, quarantine, finishing and packaging area. Production facilities we are going to discuss for parental sterile products for manufacturing, like their principal, personnel, premises, equipment. And then we'll be discussing environmental control, air control, HEPA filters, laminar flow, and the validation of HEPA filters in this lecture. So let's start our discussion. Production facilities. In case of parentals, their specially designed plant layout is needed to minimize the risk of microbial contaminations, and this is utmost requirement which we have discussed earlier also. The manufacturing layout should follow guidelines as per the requirements. The requirements must be met. All the regulatory requirements must be met for production facilities. As far as the general guideline is concerned, the manufacture of sterile products should be carried out in clean areas, entry to which should be through airlocks for personnel and or for equipment and materials. And secondly, the various operations of component preparation, production preparation or product preparation and filling should be carried out in separate areas within the clean area. Within the clean area, the separate sections must be there for these separate kind of activities. Okay. In continuation, manufacturing operations are divided into two categories. First, those where the product is terminally sterilized, and secondly, those which are conducted aseptically at some or all stages. There are two categories. Okay. Clean areas for the manufacture of sterile products are classified according to the required characteristics of the environment. So clean areas you will have to, we will classify according to this required characteristics. Now we can see in this brief ray diagram that what are the different areas of parental manufacturing. You can see that cleanup area at the very beginning, warehouses, and then the preparation area is there, aseptic area is there, and after that a quarantine area, and at the last the packaging area. So these are the major different areas for parental manufacturing. You will have to follow the strict discrimination between or separation between one area to another area. Okay, this must be taken care of, especially with respect to the this can say the aseptic area and preparation area must be apart, must be in they are separated to assure the quality. This is the general plant layout, but we are seeing here in this slide that this dash, dark dash is denoting the entrance, and the that when you enter at the pre-entry wash, then the gowning area is there. As you can see, this bench is there. Then these are the three sections. You can see the to ensure the air control, the entries are at different point, and they are not exactly in in series. Okay, so it is opening here, so then it is opening in this way. So in the opposite direction they are opening, being open to the next area. Then the quality control area is there, your departmental office is there, inspection, labeling and packaging area. Here you can see the filling and sealing area, air handling unit is there, which is controlling the entire plant. And then this compounding area, and this you can see the sterilization area is here, preparation area is there, and finished good area is at the last. And the entry is ensured in such a way that the air is controlled for giving the best quality and the desired quality of the air in that particular area of production. Okay, so these are the and again the gowning area and pre-entry wash is there, separate entry is there for compounding area. So this is in general a very general plant layout for parentals. So this, by this we can understand that each and every section area is separated in such a way that the cross contamination of air is not there. Okay, and not just air, but it should be protected from the uh, contamination brought about by the personals. So we will be discussing it in detail also in our next section. Now taking one by one, first is cleanup area. This cleanup area should withstand moisture, steam and detergent. Okay, here washing is done. It must be free from dust, fiber and microorganisms, and you know that it is a non-aseptic area. Okay, so these are the four major things you must learn about the cleanup area. Then preparation area. Here mixing preparation and preparation is prepared for filling. Okay, and then strict precaution is taken to prevent contamination from outside. We will ensure that no contamination enter into the preparation area, and we will do whatever we can do to assure this property. Okay, aseptic area, it is one of the most crucial area of the parental manufacturing unit. Here filtration and filling into final containers and sealing is done. It is equipped with air control units like HEPA, high efficiency particulate analyzers, these filters, laminar airflow and personal control. So you will have to ensure the personal's uh, entry and exit in this aseptic area. So these three things you must take care in case of aseptic area. Now moving to quarantine area. After filling, sealing and sterilization, the product or batch is kept in this area. Okay, you will keep it aside, quarantine. Okay, as you know about the name itself, Packing approval and problem solving is done by the random sampling done from this area. Random sampling is taken and is sent to the quality control department, and that not only the products but also the packing approval is done, and the quality control section gives the problem solving, and at here only we can solve these issues in this quarantine area. Okay. Now finishing and packaging area. As the name suggests, it is a packing mm, area. Packing is done here. Production from external environment is assured here, because packaging is also an integral part in case of parentals. Okay, to assure the aseptic environment, we must assure the same aseptic environment here in the finishing and packaging area with proper air control also. Okay. Now let us see the guidelines by the US FDA, ISO, European Union to GMP, that good manufacturing practices for manufacturing of sterile products. The guidelines are provided by European Union to good manufacturing practices for manufacturing of these sterile products. There are four grades of areas: grade A, grade B, grade C and grade D. Four grades, remember this thing, and many times it is asked in the GPAT examination and other competitive examinations. What are these grades? Clean areas. These are the clean areas for manufacturing of sterile product. Grade A stands for the local zone for high risk operations. Filling zone, stopper bowls, open ampoules and vials, making these aseptic, making these connections. Grade B, it is for aseptic preparation and filling. This is the background environment for grade A zone. Okay. So you cannot enter into the grade A before entering into the grade B, you can say, as per the quality. And the grade C and D, clean areas for carrying out less critical stages in the manufacture of sterile products. Okay. So grade A is at most important here, which is for high risk zone, then grade B, grade C and D. Okay. Four grades are there. Remember these things. Now moving to the personnel. How we can control the personnel? Only because only the minimum number of personnel is required, uh, and they should be present in the clean area, and all persons including those concerned with cleaning and maintenance employed in such areas should receive initial and regular training in disciplines relevant to the hygiene and the basic elements of microbiology. The staff who have been engaged in the processing of biologicals like animal tissue materials or of cultures of microorganisms should not enter the sterile product area unless rigorous and clearly defined uh, decontamination procedures have been followed. So they cannot enter into the core area without going through the decontamination procedures. So by this, we will have to control the personnel also, not only the air, because the personnel are also the great source of contamination. So we will also have to control the movement of personnel from one section to another section in a parental manufacturing unit. And there are strict protocols for this thing. In continuation of the personal control, the high standard of personal hygiene and cleanliness are essential. Outdoor clothing should not be brought into the clean areas, and personal entering changing rooms should already be clad in standard factory protective garments. Wristwatches and jewelry should not be worn in clean areas, and cosmetics that can shed particles should not be used by the personnel. The clothing worn and its quality should be appropriate for the processes and the grades of the working area, that workplace. It should be worn in such a way so as to protect the product from contamination. So our overall aim is to ensure the aseptic environment, is to ensure the environment required free from contamination. That too, we will try our all the efforts to control the personals and whatever is required to ensure the quality of air and the environment, which is prescribed by the US FDA, European Union, ISO, or the US FDA. Okay. Now moving to the premises, we have talked about the personals. Now we are talking about the premises. All premises should be, as far as possible, be designed to avoid the unnecessary entry of supervisory or control personnel. All exposed surfaces must be smooth and impervious and unbroken. Okay, there should be no contact points. Okay, or exposed points, exposed surfaces. Minimum of projecting ledges, shelves, cupboards and equipment should be there. False ceiling should be sealed in this area, in all the premises. False ceiling provide the protection from the contaminations. Pipes and ducts should not create recesses. By this way, we can control the premises for our parental manufacturing unit. Airlock doors should have visual and or audible warning systems. A filtered air should maintain a positive pressure, and the various recommendations regarding air supplies and pressure differential need to be modified with respect to the premise requirement. So do ensure these things. Uh, in premises, an indicator of pressure difference be fitted at each and every section. Sinks, strains, they should be avoided. Routine sterile tests should be performed in the premises. Now, moving to the equipment. A conveyor belt should not pass through a partition between a grade A or B clean area and a processing area of lower air cleanliness unless the belt itself is continuously sterilized. So either the belt should be sterilized or it should not pass through the grade A or grade B. Okay, remember this thing, it is utmost essential. Equipment fitting and services should be from outside. It should be done from outside, and equipment validation and monitoring should be controlled, properly controlled, and each and every time when the equipment being shifted, changed, cleaned, the validation protocols must be followed very strictly when we are performing any kind of changes or modification in the equipment. Okay. Environment control. When we are talking about the environment control, the surrounding environment and air can be greatest source of contamination. We know very well. It can be minimized by using preliminary filters, uh, spectral, the special bacterial or particulate filters we can employ. Air control is achieved by installing first and and first the preliminary filters and then the HEPA filters. Okay. Now, air classification. We are talking about the air classification. Electronic airborne particulate monitoring instruments. They determine the number and size of particulate matters. So, with the help of these particulate monitoring instruments, we can classify the air into different classes. It is defined as the number of particles per cubic foot of the air that are larger than 0.5 micron in diameter. Class 100, class 1000, class 10,000 they may be. Okay. Let us see in detail also. As you say that with respect to the FS 209 specification, clean room classification, if you say that class 100,000, in the case of ISO, in the case of ISO 166 16441 clean room classification is 8, and the particles of 0.5 micron particles per meter cube should be not more than 3520000, and the viable microbe should not be more than the 100. Average airflow velocity should be in the foot per meter 5 to 10, and then air change per hour 5 to 48. In the same way, you can say for the 10,000 it is 7 in the clean room classification, or it should be not more than 35,200. Viable microbes 10, average airflow 10 to 15, air change rate 60 to 90, and for 1000, class 1000 we're talking about that it is, or you can see in ISO you say 6, it should be the limit of the particles should be not more than 35,200 again, viable microbes 7 here, average airflow velocity 25 to 40, and air change rate is 150 to 250 240. Class 100, that is the most stringent one. The clean room classification as per the ISO is called grade 5. No, not more than particles of 0 0.5 micron should be not more than 3500, and viable microbes should not be more than 1. Average airflow velocity 40 to 80, and air change rate is 240 to 480. So this is the scenario we have clarified, that how we can classify these uh, clean rooms in different classes, and by this way you can learn at least class 100 and class 1000 specifications, so that you may reproduce them in your examinations. Now, airborne particulate classification for grade A, B, C, and D. We have discussed about the grade A, B, and C, and D clean rooms. So, maximum permitted number of particles per meter cube is at rest, and in operation is, you can see for grade A it is 3500 at rest or 0, and in operation it is 3500 only. Class B again same, but in operation it may be more. In class C you can see 350,000, 2000, again 350,000 and 20,000. In grade 3, as you can see here, in grade 3 in operation it is not defined. So by this way we can have a maximum permitted number of particles. On the basis of maximum number of particles allowed, the grade A, B, C, and D can be seen in this table. So we are talking about the environment control or air control, that is utmost important aspect in the parental control or parental manufacturing, the laminar airflow system, LF, we abbreviate it. The flow is called laminar because the turbulent air upstream is changed by the filter into a straight line flow of the downstream face of the filter. Laminar airflow system contains three basic elements. How many elements? Three basic elements: a blower, a high efficiency air filter, and a plane. Now, can you see here in this diagram that this is the HEPA filter's static diagram I'm showing you here. That is the blower here, hot air is being given there through the HEPA filter, it enters into the and laminar output is there, and through the protective screens it comes out. Okay, so pre-filters are installed, blown out through the HEPA filters, and then forced to that particular area. As you can see in this GIF, I have given the static laminar airflow system. This is the vertical laminar airflow system. Here, after passing through the pre-filters, the air enters from vertically from up to down into the area. You might have seen in your laboratories also, in the microbiology lab, these kind of laminar airflow are installed there, and there this air is controlled in such a way that only the air enters from upward to downward. It is coming from up to down, it is moving and it is coming out. Okay, so the unidirectional flow of air is there, and this ensures the that there must not be any contamination. Okay, so free from contamination condition is ensured with the help of laminar airflow system. So now the horizontal flow, it may also be the flow of air may also be the horizontal. You have seen this vertical flow, the flow may also be the horizontal one. The air blows towards the worker in this kind of LFs. It is used for chemotherapy preparations. Vertical flow or biological safety cabinet or chemotherapy hoods, you can see in your microbiology lab also. In these vertical one, as we have discussed also in the GIF earlier and animation part, the air blows from top down to maintain the sterility and to protect the worker. Now LF, these laminar airflow specifications, you can see in this table that they are the specifications for various parameters. Like for pre-filter, the FSD should be 99.9% of down to 5 microns, and for final filter again 99.997 down to zero point 0.3 microns. Then fans, direct drive and motor filter grills should be made up of anodized perforated aluminum sheet. Slide panels removable, they must be of removable type. Electrical, single phase 220 250 volt airflow, 90 foot per minute. Noise level 40 to 50 decibel. Vibration level less than 40 micro inches for 1 microns. And lighting minimum 645 flux. So these are some specifications for the laminar airflow. uh, you can go through this table. Now we are planning that how we can validate this process with the DOP. DOP, you know, dioctyl phthalate. Remember this thing, remember the name. It is many times asked in the GPAT examinations and various competitive examination of pharmacy. That dioctyl phthalate, it is a liquid plasticizer. It is used for sterile product validation, or you can say in the validation of air. This liquid plasticizer is heated to the point of vaporization. Its vaporization point, you will heat it at the point of the vaporization. Then it is reconstituted into the 0.3 micron filter, into 0.3 micron from a monodisperse aerosol. Okay, it is diluted with air until a concentration of 100 microgram per liter is achieved. Then this aerosol mixture is allowed to pass through the filter. Okay, the qualitative and quantity observations are done for amount of penetration, that with the help of scattering photometer we can analyze this thing, and by this way we can analyze the quality of air which is passing through your HEPA filter. By this way we can validate the quality of air itself. So these are some of the further readings I recommend for parental. Banker Roads is one of the best texts for modern pharmaceutics. You please go ahead with that, and we have also given the details in our own book also. Please, and Alton is also a very good text. Please do refer for the various aspects of overall production technologies. Now, dear friends, let me give you the summary of this particular topic which we have learned. We learned what are the general specifications and the requirement of plant layout for parental manufacturing. For parental manufacturing, there must be a strict control on the quality of air, strict control for maintaining the aseptic environment, strict control on maintaining the air quality as desired as per the specifications of European Union, FDA guidelines or ISO guidelines for parental manufacturing. Okay, the cleanup areas on the other area, preparation area, they must be as you know, they are classified as per the grade A, B, C, D, and as per the air control they are classified into class 100, class 1000, other categories. You must know that what kind of air quality is needed for the particular area and how you can control this air. Okay, the quality of air, how you can maintain, and you will also ensure the control of personnel working in that area, their movement, um, their overall working, and what they are wearing, and whether we are protecting the contamination which is brought through the personals, and also the premises. That premises must be cleaned properly and they should be free from any sorts of contaminations, even assuring the sealing of all seals, etc. We have focused on these aspects. And then we also saw the equipments for allowing and controlling the air, like HEPA filters, laminar airflow, vertical one, horizontal one, and then HEPA filters. These HEPA filters are giving the desired quality of air when they are passed through the pre-filters, and then these HEPA filters, the quality of air can be maintained as per the requirement of the cleanup area or preparation area or the core area, whatever. And this is the utmost required condition. And you also know, please do remember the DOB method, dioctyl phthalate method of validation of this HEPA filter, that how efficiently the HEPA filter is working and what kind of air quality is being given as an output through the HEPA filter. We must have a strict control over that. So we have studied the guidelines provided by the European Union to good manufacturing practices for manufacture of style products. I recommend various guidelines which is freely available in the net. You can go through the internet, and you can have the guidelines which are strictly as per these requirements, because depending upon the regulatory bodies, a little bit difference may be there, but overall we will have to focus on these three criteria, these three four aspects, that air control, personnel, premises and equipment. These four things you will have to focus when you are going to focus on the plant layout and overall control on the uh, quality of air, premises, equipment, and these other aspects, required aspects for efficient parental production. So this was all about the parental production technology. For this particular section, we'll be discussing some more aspects of parental technologies in our next section. Thank you for being with us. Happy learning.